Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Duster Squad podcast. I hit the button and it didn't go for some reason. Listen, that's how.
And we're back at it.
That's how out of practice we are at this. Because listen, I have to start this show off with just a few words. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays if you don't celebrate Christmas. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We've missed quite a while.
It's been a minute, like a month and a half.
From what I can remember, it had been a couple weeks when we tried to do one in the middle of last month, December, and it had been a couple weeks since then, and it's now been like 3 weeks after that attempt. So yeah, like a month.
It's been a minute.
But hey, that's what happens, dude.
We had a good holiday break.
Exactly, extended holiday break. Now we're back. It's a new year, 2025, and there's just lots of exciting things happening. Lots of exciting things. So first of all, since I haven't really even talked to you guys all that much anyway, apart from the podcast. So how's everything going?
Yeah, it has been a minute.
How's everything going, Benny? What's going on with you?
I had a good holidays. Christmas was nice. Went back home. I actually managed to get Christmas Eve day and Christmas Day off, which is rare for me, just in the line of work, because it's news. You're kind of always going. But I did, and I went home, visited my mom and my brother and my sister-in-law and my niece, and it was a really good time. And then New Year's was fun too.
How much Habs gear does the baby have now? Any Habs gear?
I didn't get any. I didn't get her any specifically for Christmas because I've already done that a fair bit at other times.
Oh yeah.
like for her birthday, the most recent thing I got her was a new Habs toque because her head's fucking huge. Because there's one thing Watson heads.
It's like toddler size.
I got like the kid size when she's 1 year old. And it was like a little spacious, but like not really like crazy. There wasn't that much space. Like I was like, she'll grow into it. It'll last her a few years anyway.
That's funny.
But yeah.
Very funny.
No, Christmas was nice. I got to see family. Then I ended up seeing grandparents on the weekend after Christmas, on the Saturday after Christmas, and that was nice too. And then New Year's was fun. I just went out to Monopole, but I had a really good time. Saw like so many different friends, and I ended up staying there until like 3:30, and then I went home.
Jeez.
They stayed open till 6.
And then an hour later, Nick woke up.
Yeah.
Not that day.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got involved on that night. Okay, well, hey, that's awesome. I saw videos of grandma or great grandma Rena with the
singing,
with the baby. Yeah, that was very cute.
Yeah,
very nice.
Yeah, no, it was a good few like family days, like because we did Christmas Eve was just me and my mom in Burke, and we played card games and Yahtzee and watched Christmas movies, and it was very wholesome and fun. And then Christmas morning, obviously they came over there, and then Christmas night we went to my brother's house.
All right.
And that was fun.
Very nice, fun, family-filled days.
Oh yeah.
We'll head over to check in with Nick because it had been a few weeks before even the last one we did since we've seen Nick. Because speaking of family-filled days, I feel like that's just Nick's whole life. His family-filled days. So what have you been up to?
I was on. We talked about how we were going to be moving into the house. Since then, we are all moved in.
You guys bought a house.
Yeah, so we closed on our house the day before Thanksgiving.
Damn.
So I don't think I've been on since around Thanksgiving time. So then we had Thanksgiving, and I went north for that, and then just throughout December, I haven't really been able to link up with you guys whenever we've done them. But no, kind of like Ben, we went through the holidays. We did Christmas with my family the weekend before Christmas because Aaron had to work the day after. So we did everything with like my parents and my brother and my sister down here the Saturday before. Aaron went up with Marcus right after that on Sunday. My parents went back home too, and then we ended up going up. Me and Liz drove up Christmas Day. Brian and Shay drove up Christmas Day, and we did the rest of our stuff with our not the extended, but the rest of the family, grandparents and whatnot, over the course of the last few weeks. I've been off from work since like the 18th.
Jesus.
Oh yeah, you haven't gone
Damn.
back yet. So next week or tomorrow?
Holy
Are you
shit.
back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys a meme after this. I thought it was
You did a
very
better job.
very fitting for what I'm gonna be going into next week.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Yeah, so we
I'm
had
very excited.
done Christmas and everything. We helped my aunt move into a new apartment while we were up there. My grandmother got COVID and went into the hospital, and my parents have since got
Jesus.
it, and my aunts and uncles have got it, and like everybody in the family's got it.
Damn.
Me and Liz somehow made it through without getting it, which is surprising.
Have you tested? Because you could have it and just have no idea.
Yeah, you could just be built different.
No, I don't care.
Be carriers, dirty carriers.
I'm built different. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so then we had New Year's. We had a little New Year's party over at one of our friends' house. Like we had alluded to it. We got into the sauce a little bit that night.
Oh, y'all got after it, eh?
5 double shot whiskeys. Quote text.
I imagine you made it to midnight then at least.
No.
If you had 5. You had 5 double shot whiskeys.
We started at 5 o'clock. We got over there 5:30.
Well, that's your first mistake. You can't start that early, or unless it was by design. You were like, I don't really care if I make midnight.
We didn't really, because our friends have kids, so they were.
Oh yeah.
They were kind of on that kid time clock. So we all kind of hung out, and I think we were home by like 10. Liz and I stayed up till like 11:15, and I was pretty smoked by then. So
I guess so.
Yeah. I woke up fine the next day though.
That's nice.
Did not wake up fine the next day. Turns
New
out
drink.
3:30.
If you guys even want to venture into whiskey at all, if you do, we were drinking a little bit higher quality, but we did basically bourbon with maple syrup in them.
Very nice. Very
That
nice.
sounds really good.
Yeah,
I feel like that would make it a lot easier to drink.
Yeah,
I'm sure it would give you a headache if you had too many of them.
Yeah,
but it was pretty good.
I think liquor just does that. Like I enjoy a whiskey here and there. I don't do it so much because I don't really need to, and it gives me, you can get a headache. So I don't do it a whole lot. But like Jack Honey, I can do Jack Honey straight down the gullet. It's all good. But
so can
liquor. Oh, jeez. Oh, I remember. I know what you're talking about.
Past, right?
Yeah. Liquor will literally, without fail, make me throw up every time. Like,
nice.
I can have beer for as long as I want. Like, I can just keep going. But as soon as any amount of liquor gets mixed in, other than maybe a little vodka, maybe.
Okay. That's an odd one to be okay with.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the big thing recently was we got our sectional in for our living room, so our house is finally feeling more homey.
Dude,
yes. He's got a man cave too.
I wanted to say I saw that on Instagram. The living room's looking nice.
Yeah,
I did not see, but I will check out.
I'll send you guys the pictures.
Yeah, it's cool.
I got it. Yeah, Nick sent me some pictures. His man cave is looking sweet.
Ooh, what do we got in there?
Yeah.
It's probably not a man cave. That's just what I'm calling it.
When we bought the house, the previous owners had left a lot of furniture here.
Mm-hmm.
So they left like a living room, like a couch and a chair and stuff that was a matching set. So we said, if they leave this, we're going to put it down in the basement.
Right.
We had no clue what they were going to leave. So we were pretty surprised to see that stuff here. They were like, fuck it. We're going to move this stuff downstairs. And so Friday, Thursday or Friday, we moved it all down. And then when our sectional came in, it basically is like identical furniture. I'll send you guys a picture right now.
Oh, cool.
This is the basement. And then you guys, other than Ben, you guys saw the sectional, but
it's very nice. I saw Tucker on it. Tucker was on it.
Nice.
Got a Snapchat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a little chaotic. I was a little stressed about the furniture because we're moving this couch downstairs, right? And
Uh-huh.
it's not really fitting right. It was
Yeah.
not easy. So then when we get it to the bottom of the stairs into the basement, we're like, how are we gonna get this through the door? So because the door stood, we had to like stand it up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's a classic.
we had to. The door was. One second, I got somebody knocking.
All right. Well, while he deals with that, we'll go to Rick, the last person to get an update.
Oh man,
What do you
it's
got?
up to me. So I guess just like you all, I had a pretty chill holidays. Christmas was just Christmas Eve and Christmas Day were just with my immediate family. So just me, Caroline, my mom and dad, like my grandma, my aunt. So that was pretty cool. And New Year's, we actually went to Caroline. You guys may have seen this on socials. Caroline has a friend who is also a gardener, and she like 8 years ago befriended this really like old dude who lives in Brooklyn. And this old dude, he's half Italian, half Puerto Rican, and grew up in the city, so he has all these amazing stories to tell. And we went to his apartment for New Year's because he would be spending it alone. Because he has like no like family or whatever in the area. So we just like ended up playing cards with him. And it was a great time. It's a great time.
Hey, Caroline was telling me about that. It sounded really fun.
It was awesome, yeah. And also the funny thing is, so he's Italian and Puerto Rican. So it's funny because Caroline is half Puerto Rican and I'm half Italian. So when he met both of us,
There you go.
he's like, oh, so yeah, that was really cool. But the biggest surprise was the weekend before Christmas. Caroline invited me to a volleyball get together. So like with my brother's like volleyball squad, because I'm like kind of friends with some of them.
Right.
She's like, yeah, you should come through. So anyway, we go there and I see a car parked out front, and it's the car my brother usually drives whenever he's home. And I'm like, it's a Chevy. So I'm like, oh, that's weird that Chevy's here. Maybe someone else just like drives the same car or whatever. Because I'm like, there's no way Matt's back from Japan. And then I walk into the
Right.
house and there's Matt back from
Oh,
Japan.
hell yeah.
So he ended up coming home for the holidays. Caroline knew for like a month before he came home, and she did a great job not telling me and not spoiling the surprise.
Nice.
So that was really cool to be
Hell yeah.
to be jumped on by my brother. I was like, what the hell? What are you doing here? But yeah, no, that was really cool. So literally, like, holidays were great because it was like everyone was there. So super cool. But
Cool.
that's about it. Just chilling. Just did
Great.
some grocery shopping before this episode. Exciting stuff.
I did that yesterday.
Nice.
Sunday's really your day, Benny. You did it on a Saturday.
It depends on how it could vary. It's like 50-50 on the day. Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on how lazy I'm feeling on Saturdays. But Mike, how were your holidays?
Yeah,
Did I
Oh,
see it? Did I
pretty
see
good.
right on your socials? Did you and Danielle both stay down there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we stayed down here for everything. So my parents were here, or were down in Tampa with Annie for Christmas, or right before Christmas, and then they flew back on Christmas Day, which is probably a good idea because I think it's probably pretty smooth.
Yeah, I'm sure like everybody's usually already at their places by Christmas Day, so
Yeah,
like
it's a great travel day, I'm sure. But yeah, we didn't really do a whole lot. We kind of just hung out, did our own thing. We're going up to New York in the 17th, so that will be
Nice.
fun. And we were talking about it before the show, but it's gonna be cold.
Yeah.
We are not gonna be ready for it.
Yeah, no, with the weather we've been getting lately, yeah, it's looking like you're gonna be coming back up to. You're gonna be reminded of your childhood there, Michael.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, you are muted,
Nick, you're
Nicholas.
muted.
he's
Oh.
Oops. Wrong button.
there we go. But
Said,
actually,
I hope you guys are gonna ski while you're up here.
Oh, that's interesting. That might have to be something that me and my parents might have to do that. Danielle's going, so we're flying to Syracuse, and then Danielle's mom is grabbing her and going south. and then my parents are gonna grab me, and we're gonna go obviously back to Chattagay.
Okay.
So that's interesting though. I haven't skied in it's
It's been a long time.
Been like 2 or 3
college,
years for me.
maybe college. So like shit, man.
I think I've only gone once, like since like
6
after
years?
college. So yeah,
Holy
it's
shit.
I've probably had about as much, except for I've had like one visit in that same stretch of time. Like
Mhm.
I've gone to Titus once in that stretch.
I would love to, dude. I love skiing. Yeah, that would be fun. Who knows though? If I break my leg,
That'd be an
Don't do
interesting
that.
flight back to
Don't do
Florida.
yeah, that would be interesting. You didn't have walkers. What the hell are those called?
Crutches?
Crutches. Jesus, man. Do you ever have that? I keep getting that more and more. I think I have too much information.
You need to get on
Oh,
some of
where
that
you
alpha
just
brain.
search for
Yeah.
a word for a minute.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but here's the thing. I'm like searching for it, and I just know I'm like, it's not gonna come. It's
Oh,
not gonna
yeah,
come.
no.
I gotta
And
ask
and
somebody.
it pisses you off because you're like, it's in there.
Crutches,
And then when
dude. I've been on
when
crutches so
somebody
many
says it-
times in my life, and I can't remember the freaking
you
word.
have.
Jesus, whatever.
I remember the day you spray painted your crutches.
Yep, and we got it on my dad's truck, and I thought he was gonna be mad, but he wasn't. It was an old-
Did you tell him that time, or did
I
you
don't
tell him, or
remember.
did you just wait for him to notice?
I think I
Because
just
there
waited.
wasn't that much.
I think I
we
just
didn't
waited.
like it that bad.
No, it
That
was
was
like
the same night we
Star.
spray painted my PS2.
Yeah,
Which
dude.
it worked for like another like 10 years after that. It did
Yeah.
finally quit like a year or two
Yeah,
ago, but
that was not the paint's fault, dude. I've since learned that there's so much better ways to do that. Like you can actually just take the cover off and just spray the cover and then put it back
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
we were
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it so janky. We're just like
I'm just
taping over the holes with tape.
I'm
it
picturing
worked.
you guys sprayed
It worked.
Oh my god.
It was incredible.
And
But
I
hey,
had a sick gold PS2.
dude, it was awesome. It was so awesome. You know, I
That's
did.
pretty awesome. That shit goes for a lot of money now, Benny.
That's true. If
It,
it, yeah,
wait,
if it's like
actually-
in good working order, tell me he's got it. Is it a shelf trophy? It's got to be a
So-
Dude,
shelf trophy.
please.
There's two aspects to it where I still have it. Yes, I still have it up on my bookshelf over there. Also, you can see I taped over the labels too.
Oh,
And the
nice.
very uneven,
Yeah, you
like
can see like it wasn't a clean tape job.
no, I just was slapping
One
electrical
strip of
tape
masking
on it.
tape right across
Uh,
it.
Electrical tape because it was narrower. But
Yeah,
like it's
yep.
really messy on the ports
front,
on
yeah.
the front.
Yep.
But so there's the double meaning of I have this, which doesn't work anymore, but it was my original PS2. This was the first console I ever had.
That's
Like, I
actually
saved
so
up and-
small.
I saved
Yeah,
up and bought
compared
it in,
to
like,
the
2009.
actual like initial PS2 that came out, that thing was like this
Oh,
thick
yeah.
by
Dude,
like
Compared to the
It was a
to the
monster.
skinny PS3.
Oh yeah,
That thing is so
honestly,
small,
yeah.
dude.
But the added little meaning is on the inside, I have a non-functioning copy of
Oh.
Midnight Club 3, which
Oh
is
my
by
God.
far the video game I played the most on this console. Like, I still regularly go back and play it because
Oh,
I
dear.
did buy another PS2.
Yeah.
Because I still have a few PS2
Yeah,
games that I
Ben.
like to go back and play.
me and
But-
Dylan remember that.
Yeah, I also do.
Yes, I know. I was not always the best with sharing.
Ben didn't
video
share
games.
well, folks, in case you're wondering.
I got better. I got better.
You know what? He shares
Um,
extremely well now. He always is like, "Who wants
yes.
to play? Let's play."
Yes. Anyhow, but yes, I still have this. It's on my bookshelf,
Nice.
and I love it very much because it was the first console I ever
Dude,
bought
it's-
and like
it's-
saved up
It's
for.
it's a piece of history. It's an actual piece of history.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I wanted to mention this real quick because we were talking about liquor. And Benny was saying he doesn't do liquor because he'll throw up. We have all of our wedding crap is decided and figured out. Not paid for
Hey,
yet,
hey.
but it's figured out.
Hey.
Hold on. Say, gotta give you a quick round of applause.
Oh, all right. I was like, what's happening? Yeah, all figured out.
Yeah,
And
what's up?
we're having a limited open bar, 5 hours.
Okay,
But it's only beer and wine. So,
that's fine.
but I think most people will be okay with that. Maybe
Yeah.
Cody won't be, but he'll figure it out. And Connor.
Cody will drink
figure it
Miller Lights and be fine.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Benny.
think we have him back.
We lost old Benny. He's working his way back.
Old Benny, no.
There we go.
He's fully lost, for ever since you were like, I got it all paid or whatever, or all figured out, not paid for.
Yeah.
From there.
5-hour open bar, 3 beers, 3 wines. Boom. That's it. That's the headline.
You know,
like anything past that, you pay for it or whatever.
I think anything past that, it's cash.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you
Okay.
feel like it, you can. I think there's some system where you can buy tickets and then get tickets, and so you don't have to pull your card out. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll just bring cash. I go to the only
Cash
bar
money,
I
baby.
ever go to is an entirely cash bar. Like this
Cash
is
is
not
king. Cash is
unfamiliar
king.
to me.
Dang, look at Nick. I have a $10 bill. That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah. Once you get through this wedding, you're
Speaking
not gonna
of-
have anything either.
Speaking of money-related things, I finally got a replacement wallet.
Oh,
and
nice.
This Canadians one
Yeah.
again because my old one was
Super worn.
Yeah, it was shredded. It was coming apart at the seams. Like it was like, okay, I think it's time.
It's time, yeah, to retire that bad boy. Okay. Well, hey, it's been a bazillion weeks since we've done the show, and it's also been a bazillion weeks since we've caught up in fantasy. And I must say, a big change for old Nick.
Yeah.
I think, what were you, 6-0 on at the beginning of the
I was
season?
at least 5-0.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't remember. I was at 6-1 at one point, and I don't know really what happened. I had some downer weeks. I've had some pretty piss poor goalie play. My goalies have been shaky this year, and as you can assume, Eric, I have Sorokin, so that pretty much says why.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of roster shuffling as of late. I've had a pretty good stretch, but I just don't score a lot of points. I'm noticing that over the last couple. Like, I haven't really been able to focus on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Until about like 2-3 weeks ago, basically the whole end of November to the beginning of December, it was like the last thing I'd think about, and then I'd be laying in bed on like a Thursday night, and I'd be like, "Oh fuck, I haven't even looked at anything."
You're like,
And at that point, I'm already too far behind to make it.
Yeah, you've only got like
Yeah.
3-4 days left. Yeah.
And I'd set my rosters for the next week, and then it just didn't look good. So
Yeah.
it's been okay. I've been a little bit better the last couple of weeks, but it's pretty tight right now. Like, there's nobody who's like way ahead.
It's pretty insane. So
Pretty even table, really.
'Cause number
first-
one is just like one win ahead of everybody else.
it's
And
Tony
then
has
everybody
one
else
win
is like
better.
a game or two away from each other. Like
It's- Here, I can break it down for you. Tony is 8-4, up in first. So he won last year and is now just in first again. So
Yeah, and I was second last year, and I was in first up until
You were.
2 weeks ago.
you were, yes. I don't even remember what I was last year. I think I ended like 5th. I lost to my mom in like the last round just to go lower. I was like, gosh darn it. But it's Tony at the top, 8-4, and then it's 2, 3, 4, 5 is my dad, Benny, Danielle, and Nick, all 7-5 and all in 7-5.
Yeah.
All 4, 7-5. Just a log jam in second right there.
and
then
then the
obviously
next
it
three
filters through. And then the next
are-
3, myself, Eric, and my mom are all 6-6.
Yep. We're
So-
hanging in there.
And
I don't
tonight,
know. Yep.
you're about to become 7-6 and make me be 7-6, Mike. So it's gonna be even crazier. I think I'm gonna drop down a couple spots just because I'm not gonna be ahead in points.
You'll at least be
So-
behind. You'll definitely be behind me because I have the second most points for, and yet am in 6th. So that's upsetting.
Actually, if Danielle loses, I'll only drop 1 spot. So that'll not be too bad.
But yeah.
But like the whole point is literally it's just a wide open field.
It's
at this
very
point.
close.
Like,
It's very close, which I like.
it's the top 6 that make playoffs, right?
The top 6, yes, make the championship
Okay.
bracket. Yeah. So it's top half, or it's a little more than the top half.
Top
So that's good.
2
I'm looking good against Hurricane
Ish.
Tortilla this week, so I should be okay.
Yeah, she's not very good.
Everybody's looking good against Hurricane Tortilla.
Okay, I just want to say something. This is the perfect segue. So I lost to that's Andy's team, right? Hurricane. Okay, yeah. So I
that
lost
was one of your losses.
because Brendan Hagel decided to have a 5 assist night. Like there was
Oh
one night
damn.
where she
Oh
just
damn.
got 100 and something points out of that roster, and I'm like, I can't rebound from this. So I tried to do some waiver wire stuff,
Yeah.
and ended up picking up Adam Gaudette at the end of the week because he'd been on a little goal streak. So I'm like, oh, maybe the Sens are playing the Ducks, right? Maybe he can work a little magic, guys. I turned that game on to stream it. I've never been so not like focused on a hockey game. Ducks Sens. I'm like, I can't watch
It's
this.
not a great matchup.
I'm sorry, I can't watch this. Ottawa recently, we'll get into this. Ottawa's kind of on the upswing, but like at this time,
Yes.
it was like 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not. I don't like this. I just shut it off. I think Gaudette just didn't do anything either. 0 goals, 0 assists. I don't even think he had a
Damn.
shot on goal. I was like, well, never again. Never. Anyway.
Dang, man, I haven't looked at the standings in a while. That is
Yeah,
wild.
dude.
That is a bit
Yeah.
wild over there.
I did this morning.
Oh, thank God Natchez has started doing something. Oh, actually, never mind. He hasn't. It's not him. That dude was so good at the beginning of the year. Like, he was leading the league in points for a while. And then I think he's got like 3 points in the last 3 weeks. It's ridiculous. I don't know what he's doing.
I will say I've been dealing with a lot of injuries lately, which has kind of screwed up my last week and a little bit this week. But getting Ovi back and him immediately just being fine, I'm like, that's going to be nice going forward.
Dude,
Yes.
what a guy.
What a guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump ahead here, gentlemen, and we're not going to talk about this week of games for your team because it's been about a month and a half, as we've
Yeah.
discussed multiple times.
Yeah.
So instead, if you want to just talk about how they've been doing kind of in general, you can talk about where they are in the standings, that kind of thing. And then we'll move on from there. And I will go first because I never
Okay.
go first, and I'm annoyed. So, fucking Lightning. So right now they are 2 points behind the Bruins right now. And also shout out to the NHL schedulers. You guys are absolutely ridiculously bad at this. How is it that the Bruins have 41 games played and the Lightning are at 36? How is that a thing? How?
How is that a thing? Were
I-
they
I-
one of the
so
teams that
the-
did the Europe game? No.
They had a bye week super early
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
Oh.
have just not made that up. So my guess is
So some month is gonna be dog shit. Like,
I'm
there's
sure,
gonna be...
and I'm sure it'll be March or April, going right into the playoffs. They're gonna just have like
they're
10
gonna be
games in like
smushed
15
somewhere,
days or
yeah.
something.
Oh
Be
no.
something ridiculous like that. It's lovely, really good job, really good. Regardless, they have so many games in hand, and yet they keep losing to teams that they really cannot be losing to when it's this tight in the East. Because currently, right now, they are in the first wildcard spot. The Senators are 2 points behind them and are tied with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Don't call it a comeback. They're back. And the freaking Columbus Blue Jackets, dude.
Yeah.
And then 1 point
And the
behind
Habs
those
1
three,
point behind.
the Montreal Canadiens making a comeback here with Patty Laine leading the way.
But
Yeah.
then, like, there's other teams that are right, like, you know,
Yeah, Detroit's 38.
Detroit's not even that
Philly's
far.
38.
the Islanders are at 35, so they're not that far behind either.
There
Right,
is
like-
No,
it
the
can be made
East is
up.
a mess. The East is a mess right now.
like you could actually make arguments for every team to make the playoffs other than maybe Buffalo and I hate to say it, Rick, but maybe the Islanders. Just because
Nah, I got faith.
Oh, we'll get into it.
I don't see the Isles because like at this point these teams down here, the Rangers, Islanders, Sabres, Flyers, they got to go on a heater, especially those bottom two. And I don't know that I see the Islanders doing that. I might almost see the Sabres doing that more than the Islanders because the Sabres can score if if whatever.
I have
yeah.
some thoughts.
But
Yes.
the Tampa Bay Lightning.
The Lightning, it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, dude. It's they will go and put up 8 on somebody, and then they'll go and lose 2-1 or whatever it was, 5 to whatever it was that Montreal game was. And I know
5-2.
Montreal has been playing very well, so that I guess makes it a little better because Montreal has been playing very well. But like, dude, you need those 2 points in this race Those 2 points
Yeah.
might end up being the difference between making the playoffs and not. And if those 2 points aren't, maybe the 2 points that you didn't get against the Sharks could be like losing 2 to 1.
I feel like that's the more egregious one.
Well, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
I
Sharks
say
are
as
like
a fan of a team who just lost to Chicago the other night, so like
that
but we'll get to
hurts.
that too.
That hurts. But dude, they're just like they'll win these games. Listen to this. We went to a game. I told you guys about it, but we went
Yep.
to a game. Florida Tampa in Tampa. So
Yeah.
Battle of Florida, and they just look like crap. And they lose like 5-2 or something like that. I think, or 5-3 or something. And they just look like crap. And then with Vasi in net, and then they go down to Florida like the next night or 2 nights later or something, and
Yep.
shut them out with Johansson.
It's like
That to a degree that is just hockey.
I
Like,
guess, but like, damn, dude.
but like you'd like a better effort, and
I would like
maybe
to
make
see
it
a win.
game.
You know
Yeah.
how many I
You
have not
you
seen a
like,
win.
you still haven't seen a win?
Cursed.
Damn.
I am
Didn't
a
you go to, like,
curse.
a couple games in Buffalo?
Yes, I went to one with Danielle. It was just us. We went out on a Monday night, drove back. It was super late. I was dying in the car. I
Yeah.
was so tired. 5-1, dude. It was a disaster. And the one goal that they scored was like a dribbler off of Killorn's ass and in the net. Like every time I'm there, they just put up a shite performance. I think the closest
Is
they got
the-
to winning was the shootout one in
Oh,
Montreal.
we went to. Yeah.
That was the
Yeah.
closest.
oh
It
my
was a
god.
banger of a game, but
It was
although
not
like
bad.
the defining moment of it was that scorpion kick save, but then like also
Fucking Palat.
they shot it right into him.
Fucking
Like,
Palat, dude. And I love Palat.
there was so much open net. Like it,
But-
like as a Habs fan, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's sick. But also like,
Also,
Just
aim
them.
for other parts of the net.
yeah,
Yeah, dude. But so yeah, so long story short, after I've told the long story, I am a curse. And that's all I have to say. But the Lightning got to figure it out. Otherwise, they're going to end up playing the fucking Panthers or the Leafs or something in the first round. But actually, either way, it's going to be Panthers or Leafs. So
Yep.
yeah.
I guess whatever. Who cares?
I mean, if you're in a wild card, it would depend.
It could be
on-
Washington, but like
it
either
could
way, it's going to be a
the
really
top of the
good,
Metro. It's gonna be a good team.
really good
yeah.
team. That kind of feels like that's just how the East is. It's going to be a good team.
Yeah, I mean, it's the last month has made everything a whole lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, a lot of people are arguing a whole lot less because there's a lot of pretty mid-ass teams that are still. I'm including the Habs in this, like that are still, like sort of within reach.
Yes.
But we
there
shall
will
see.
there will be some shuffling, and at some point, I believe there will be some separation. At some point here, there's got to be some separation.
There's one extremely interesting aspect that we'll get into later. The Habs and Ottawa still play each other 3 more times this year.
Ooh,
Those games are going to be massive.
dun dun dun.
Anyhow,
That's all right.
All right, well, let's go
anything
into
else
that
with
then.
Tampa?
Let's go into that.
No,
No,
or-
no, I'm all good. I'm all good. That's all I have to
All right.
say. They got to figure it out.
alrighty. Well, I know you were like, we're not gonna just talk about the last week of games because it's been so long, but I feel like the last week of games is kind of emblematic of the shift that the Canadians have had. They had some wins earlier before Christmas break as well, but it was against some lesser competition. It was Buffalo did 2 games against Detroit. But then you come out of the Christmas break by shutting out Florida, beating Tampa 5-2 in a back-to-back. And then a few days later on New Year's Eve, coming back from down 2-0 against Vegas to beat them 3-2. And then the Chicago game notwithstanding, but like hockey's hockey, they outshot them like fucking crazy. They had 40-something shots on Soderblom, but you know,
It happens.
a lot easier to say hockey's hockey when you have all of these wins sandwiched around it, because they then also beat Colorado last night,
Yeah.
where it was I feel like it was the first win of the bunch where a goalie really kind of stole it. Because I mean, I don't know what you thought of the Habs play in that game against Tampa, Mike. I'd be interested to hear too. But flawed in a lot of ways. Oh, you didn't watch the game? Okay. Flawed in a lot of ways still, just because of the nature of their roster where they're at right now. It's just so many young guys. There's such a higher chance of just mistakes happening because it's like the most of their defensemen are 24 or younger. Like they're all kids. But when they're playing as well as they can and like sort of all things are going right, they had been playing really strong games. Last night was the first one where I'm like, they had a pretty catastrophic first period, and it was really only Jakub Dobiš that made that only a 1-goal game. That's the other huge story right now. This kid who I don't want to sound so gleeful about it because he's a guy, he's a person too. But I am so happy Caden Primo is not on the Montreal Canadiens anymore. My fucking God. Holy shit, that dude was just a non-option. And then the fact that he was a non-option was starting to make Montembeault a non-option because he started like 11 out of like 12 games in a row or some stupid shit like that. Like they were starting Monty like every game because they knew that if Caden got in, it was essentially done. So they finally got Dobiš up. He shuts out Florida Panthers in his first game. He only lets in 1 goal last night against Colorado. It's only 2 games, but it's a hell of a 2 games. Also Cole Caulfield now sitting at 21 goals.
If I were to pour cold water on that goalie guy, Devin Levi did the same thing almost.
Sure, which is why like you got to temper expectations. You got to see what happens down the road. But like, it's been good so far. It's been good so far.
Yeah, actually, so I wanted to comment on that because I actually did watch the play. Like I do kind of keep up with Habs games sometimes, but watching Primo play goal and just cover like the lower part of the ice and just the way he moved in there, I'm like, dude, I don't know why this guy's
in his last start he let in a wraparound goal.
Yeah, like I don't know.
In the year of our Lord 2024, he let in a wraparound goal, and it wasn't even like a particularly quick one. Dude was just kind of, oh, I'm just gonna fling it. Okay, oh wow, that worked. Like it was.
So watching, you said his name. I was gonna say Dobes, but it's Dobiš.
It's Jakub Dobiš, and if you're a Czech person listening to this, you're probably like, that's a little bit of a butchering. That's my like approximation. It's supposed to be Jakub Dobiš. Dobiš.
He looks so calm, and he just looks like he's like, I don't know, he's just like actually like battling every play to make saves. And I'm gonna be honest, like I just have not seen that out of Primo at all season. So good for the Habs getting. Hopefully he can keep it up, make things interesting.
I mean, I fully still know that there's a decent chance they won't make it, but like I'm just hopping on the optimism train because hockey I'm having fun with it, and I'm just gonna enjoy this while they're doing it, and then I'm gonna be like, fuck yeah, they're getting the wild card, why not? We got to jump a bunch more guys, and Ottawa still has a game in hand, but don't think about that. That's fine. But it's been nice, at least. The last little bit has been a really nice change of pace. And it's like, I don't know how you don't get excited when you win 4 out of your last 5, and the 4 teams are Florida, Tampa, Vegas, Colorado. Like,
yeah, that's pretty.
That's a hell of a road trip. Like,
yeah, that's really good.
For sure.
Nice.
Well, all right. Well, let's stay in Canada. The Senators have been crushing it.
They've also been hot, yes.
And have squeaked their way into a playoff spot. I don't even know.
All in all, they've been very good as of late. There was a quick stretch there. Ullmark was kind of out, and it was a little shaky. But things have been looking good for the old Ottawa boys. I had a lot of doubts going into the season, and Ullmark has been good, but he's also been kind of injury prone for random chunks throughout the season, which I guess you can say about most goalies, right? Did Eric freeze?
No, he's still there.
He's good for us.
On my screen, he's like this.
Wait,
Are you still running that same fucking laptop?
Oh yeah.
okay, wait. Am I there, Nick?
Now you have no video.
Okay, how about now? Am I frozen still?
You're now loading.
You gotta be like, if my laptop is not eligible for Windows 11, there's no fucking way
No,
you're.
it's not. It told me I'm not.
I was say you're about to be forced. You're about to be forced into getting a new laptop.
Eric, I'm pretty sure it's a me issue, not a you issue. So
Oh no, yeah.
we'll jump through this segment here and then
Windows
I'll
11
turn the video off.
sucks.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm really annoyed they're getting rid of Windows 10 support. Like, it's a better operating system. Like, why are you doing this?
That's it. That's
Anyway.
all I'm saying. Yep. Nick, go ahead.
So anyway, yeah, you kind of touched on it earlier. The Atlantic's a really congested group of teams right now, and
like the Long Island Expressway.
Anybody can go after any of those spots, and even like the third spot's really up for grabs still for anybody too, right? Because Boston's not too far ahead of you.
Yeah, they're just right there. Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
It'd be easy for
44,
somebody to catch.
Actually, oh, and they've
Very
already
catchable.
played 41 games. Oh,
Yeah, that's why I'm like I'm
Oh.
glad. It's nice because Lightning have a bunch of games in hand, but like you gotta win them, dude. You gotta freaking win them.
yeah.
Sit there losing
But
to
that
the
means
Sharks.
they have the opportunity to. Yeah, that's tough.
If they lose to the
That's
Ducks
tough.
tonight, dude, I might just call it. That's it. No playoffs.
Hey, the Ducks beat the Jets the other night. Like,
No playoffs if they lose to the Ducks. I'm calling it right now.
I want to know what you guys think. Eric's touched on it earlier. It's not easy to watch those games.
Okay. I know.
Much to my chagrin, the Sens do seem to be okay this year, and that's annoying.
It's about time somebody. Yeah, it's about time. But Eric, please.
I want to say this about the Sens. So when I was watching that, I'm serious. So you said the Sens are hot recently. I watched that game a while ago. That was like legitimately. That was before they went on this kind of run.
Mhm.
And the big thing was, I don't think Ullmark was playing that game either. But from what I've seen from the Sens play, because who did they play recently? I watched some game they were playing recently, and they looked very good. I have to look at their schedule, but their young offense, like finally moving the puck around really well, is just like, I don't know. I just feel like there isn't as much early pressure on players like Norris and Stützle, right? Like all that stuff. I think they finally have the time and like less expectations compared to like the previous years where everyone's like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs. Oh, they're going to make the right. And then like they fell short every year. And now people are kind of just like, in my opinion, like, like you said, Nick, you're like, well, it's the Sens. They probably won't make the playoffs. Whatever. They have the same guy. They have young guys. Norris gets injured every year. Like all this stuff is happening. But I feel like, yeah, they're just quietly playing really well offensively. And then Ullmark just shores up the back end. It kind of lets you hide your defensive flaws. Because obviously the Sens still have some defensive flaws, but they're at least fun to watch. Like recently.
Haven't we been saying this? Now you can see it.
Yeah.
With a good goalie. It's not a goalie issue. It's never been a goalie issue. Maybe it has been some goalie.
It doesn't hurt to have Ullmark in there now. That's
Ullmark
sure.
definitely helps, but he's still getting like there was enough times you've seen him get exposed in certain ways where it's like, yeah, it helps, but also maybe it gets some more D in here. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say at the beginning, and excuse my cookie eating, was I can't remember from the last couple years. I can't remember if the Sens have been in a playoff spot this far into the year. Like, I don't know. They might have been close, but I don't think they've ever actually.
The Atlantic's always been a pretty separated division from the top of the top four to the bottom four, right?
That's pretty factual.
I feel like there's been some year at some point in like the last 2 or 3 where they were like, might have been in it for. I don't know. You might be right.
I don't know. We're nearly halfway in.
It
here.
might have just been close.
We're nearly halfway in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm excited to see. We could see some new blood in the playoffs, and I honestly would be fine with that as long as the Lightning are still in there.
So I just checked too. The Habs and Sens play once each in the month of February, March, and April. And those games,
yeah.
Those games, especially that April one, could Joe, that could be fun.
Fast
games are
forward.
always-
Fast
th-
forward,
those
and
games-
both teams are like 20 points outside. They're
Yeah,
just
like all of this could
okay.
collapse. All of this could collapse in the next month or two too. But I'm just like, they have me hopeful right now. So I'm just
That'd
like,
be cool. That'd be
that
cool.
this could be a really interesting end there. But
That could be
anyhow,
cool. All right, Rick, you were raring to go earlier. You got some thoughts on the Isles, and we're here. We're ready to hear them.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so as we all know, the biggest New York team is the New York Rangers. And believe it or not, I don't know if you guys knew this, they have a worse record since November than the Buffalo Sabres, I believe. And the Buffalo Sabres lost
they
13
suck.
Buffalo Sabres lost 13 straight. Guys, do you know who the Buffalo Sabres beat to end their 13-game losing streak?
oh, it's the Isles.
Was
They
it?
beat the New York Islanders. They beat them 7-1, guys. Not just beat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Run out of the building.
Oh no.
So
Where?
when I speak to you about how the Rangers are really bad and how the Buffalo Sabres are really bad, the Islanders are below the Rangers in the standings right now with 35 points. The Rangers have 37. The Islanders are only 2 points ahead of the Buffalo Sabres. And they have the Sabres have played 40 games. The Islanders have played 39. So that's where the Islanders are right now. Those are the teams they're sandwiched in between. The Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres. And to be honest,
Dang,
I don't know.
New York is having a
much
hard
more to-
time, dude.
I don't know if there's much more to say other than that. I think if you follow the NHL and you're like, oh, you're below the Rangers and barely above the Sabres, that's probably not where you want to be. All I can say about the Islanders is, once again, we all know scoring is an issue, but the issue of holding leads in the third period has just been such a big problem this year. I haven't really been able to watch many of the games because I can watch it if I'm at my parents' house, but I can't stream it.
You're not buying stupid ass cable.
Oh, actually, one of my friends gave me Gotham Sports app information because their parents have cable, so I can. Long story short, I can now, but
Hell yeah.
when I'm able to watch the Islanders, do I want to do that to myself? That's the question. Should I?
I've had so many of those moments in the last few years. Welcome, Eric.
No, exactly, and it's becoming. I guess that's what I'm thinking of. All the past years where it's just been, the Sens have been kind of out of it, the Habs have been kind of out of it. The Islanders, they seem to be entering that era. This is the end of. I mean, it's been such a slow, descent for the Islanders with Lou Lamoriello's stubbornness and the inability to get some star players surrounding Barzell. And man, yeah, it's just their record just goes to show. I don't think Patrick was the greatest coach ever, but he at least wears his heart on his sleeve, and you could tell he genuinely cares about the job that he's doing. And the Islanders definitely at least try to shoot the puck more and drive offense more. But even with all that being said, they're not scoring. So what? You can get 42 shots on net, but if they're all from, the corners and the outside, it doesn't really mean anything, right? If you don't have any. Duclair and Barzell were out for a while. They came back, I think, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Hasn't really changed much. I mean, they had one game where Duclair, I think, had 2 goals. Barzell had a goal and an assist. So they it was oh, okay, we're seeing some offense. But again, where's the consistency with that? They'll get that.
I mean, they also might just need a bit of time too if they're both just coming back. So give it a couple weeks, but.
And that's the thing. It's been about 2 weeks. They've done that once, and that's pretty much their bar. So the Islanders.
Then it's coming soon.
Yes, the East is just so. The East is so tight right now, and the Islanders season has been encapsulated by when the game is tight and they have a lead to hold, or they just need one more goal. They can't do it. The most recent game I watched, they were playing the Penguins and they were losing 3-0. And with 5 minutes left, they scored 2 goals, make it a 3-2 game, and then they pressed, but they just could not tie it up. And just watching a team not play for 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and then desperately try at the end to salvage that, that's not what gets you into the playoffs, guys. So I forget where I picked them. I think maybe the wild card spot, or I don't know if I said miss or squeak into the playoffs, but I will say this confidently right now, guys. The Islanders are not making the playoffs this year. No way. And
you never know. You never know.
Not a hot take. That's not a hot take. That is very much the product on the ice. And the last thing I'll say, just because you brought it up before, Ilya Sorokin, when you watch his play and you look at his numbers, there he is having a rebound season compared to last year. But like you said, Nick, even if your individual numbers are okay, right, and they're definitely an improvement, he's not stealing games, and the Islanders also aren't really helping him out defensively. So I'd say it's a mixture of both things, but it's definitely disappointing because we obviously know the talent that he has, but again, Islanders just have not been able to put it together this year. So this year, see you later.
But Eric, do you know what's going to save them?
Oh no, Marc Bergevin.
Barry Trotz getting fired as GM of the Predators, so he can go coach on the island again.
Oh, interesting.
I will say this: it's funny when you look at the Islanders offseason and you're like, "Wow, they did nothing," and you look at Nashville's, and everyone's like, "Yo, Nashville's going to tear it up." The Islanders are 2 points ahead of the Predators right now. That's kind of ridiculous.
That's a good point. Hey, you know what?
If you had said the Isles were 2 points ahead of the Predators in January before the start of the season, I would have felt real good about the Isles.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, imagine that. Yeah. I'm just gonna right now, Long Island. All of Long Island would be at Borelli's if Barry Trotz came back as the head coach. It'd just be all emotion. They'd be like, I don't know what's gonna happen. We have 110% faith that we're somehow going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, man. And you know what? You very well might do that. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then I got a heat meter, and I got a this guy or that guy after the break, and then that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it, gentlemen.
Sweet.
Yep. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a second. Alrighty, welcome back to the Duster Squad podcast after the short intermission. As I alluded to earlier, I have a heat meter. I have 2 today. I have 2 people on the hot seat that we have to talk about. Actually, a very nice little tease from the last segment there. First up, you know what? Just because, we'll go Eric. Eric, you are Mr. Barry Trotz.
Oh God.
What's your pepper level on?
Oh God, you have no Nick. No.
What's your pepper level? On because I mean, listen, it's no secret. He went out, spent a bunch of money on July 1st, and they are like the 5th worst team in the league right now. So
yeah, okay, my pepper level. I'm just gonna start off right now and just go pure capsaicin. We're going. Going.
Dang, all the way up! Woo!
Yeah, we're going all the way up. And the reason I say that is because, like, literally the entire hockey world was like, yeah, the Preds are going to be good, and they're not. And in response to that, at least this is my concern, or the thing that is unclear to me. Barry very confidently said, I guess at this point it was a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, he said, yeah, if this doesn't work, it's rebuild time. So, like, was this based on how the Preds did last season? It seemed like they wanted to add some pieces and then keep competing. Was this wasn't like the Preds, all right, it's either this season or bust.
Well, I don't think you can with the contracts you signed. Like, I think they have, like, by nature of what they did, they have to at least give this 2 or 3 more years of trying it.
Exactly.
Because no, you can't just look at the deals you just signed. You have to give this a go. Like, yes, this year didn't go well, but like shit happens. Sometimes teams just are rough for like hockey's weird. And
Exactly.
I could very easily see them like maybe adding like a couple guys in the off season that are like some complementary pieces where they could get right back to where they were. But anyhow, Barry Trotz, how do you feel about your team right now?
No. So Ben, that's perfect. You hit on it because it's like, how is he saying we're gonna go into a rebuild? I feel like there's just some disconnect with what he wants to do and maybe what like I don't really know who's their president of hockey ops or like the rest of the people in the organization. It just seems like they're kind of not on the same page about that, right? Because I don't know, like exactly. It's like Barry, you signed the contracts, like you know how this works. Why are you just me like I don't know if he said that to like try to get a rise out of the team or something, but whatever it is, I don't know what
It ain't working.
his
I will
strategy.
say thank you for Alexandre Carrier though, because he's entirely changed the Habs decor and how it works, and it's been really nice. So thanks.
Yeah, no, they gave on Kiefer Sherwood has been pretty good with the Canucks. I think he got a hat trick already.
Oh, dang.
Who else did they get rid of? Philip Tomasino to Pittsburgh. Yeah. And I don't know really how he's doing, but Pittsburgh is in the hunt. They turned it around.
They really have. They really have.
Oh, and that's the other guy. The prospect. You guys might know the
goalie.
Infamous Nashville Predators prospect who scored the between the leg goal and he roofed it. He roofed it over the Minnesota goalie last season. Parsonen.
Oh yeah.
UC.
Yeah, UC Parsonen. He was supposed to be a really good younger guy, gonna work him into like a depth option for center, more strength down the middle. He's on Colorado now.
I say that name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure I heard that name last night.
And so this is what I'm saying. So he said rebuild is imminent, getting rid of young players, and then the old contracts that you have, you sign them for a few years, so like those players can't be moved at this point. So like that's why I'm saying pure cap space. It's just all over the place. The direction.
It's just complete shite, is what it is. Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys have any other thoughts on that.
Barry maybe should have kept coaching.
Perhaps if I may play devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
Everybody just about in the hockey world was like, what a great summer. Like they're going to have such a good team. So if I may play devil's advocate, what if I were to say that this is not Barry's fault, that the players aren't doing it? Because I mean, because everybody
one-off year, like
everybody was like, "Ooh," everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, this team's going to be so good," and then their actual pieces of garbage, like sliding around on the ice, trying to hit the puck. Like I feel like some of this is on Trotz, but I think a lot more of this is on the players. So that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, some of them just aren't probably playing up to what they should be able to do. But I mean, part of that is also being like, we're just going to completely overhaul the forward core, and you're going to have to figure out the chemistry of it all as it goes along, which is an element of it. But
very true.
I don't know. I think, I mean, regardless, he's going to get past this year. Nothing's going to happen to him because of this year.
What's the point?
I think they're gonna have, like I said, I think they're gonna have to see this through at least for another couple years. They're definitely gonna have to make changes this offseason, but
something's gonna have to happen for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. They're in an interesting spot.
Yes.
They're in an interesting spot.
I would be interested, Nick, to hear your pepper rating for Mr. Barry Trotz and his job.
It's hot, you know. Reaper.
Oh,
Carolina Reaper.
Carolina Reaper. That's just a couple levels underneath the pure capsation. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. He ate one of those, and it's gonna blast him out of that GM chair.
Yeah. I'll say it's at about the same. I'll say it's at about the same in the sense that it's hot for him to do something. Like he's like
Mm.
there's pressure and there's heat for him to like, all right, you're in this spot. How are we gonna get out of it, kind of thing. But like I do think he'll make it through this year pretty much no matter what. But
Yeah.
we shall see.
One thing I will throw in, quick note. I think it's been debunked, but there was a lot of people being like, "Oh, Stamkos might be moved," and I was like, "Watch them bring Stamkos back to Tampa at like 50% retained." That would be so.
I'm saying
that would be so
on
sick.
the Nashville side.
Oh,
of
it would be
not
terrible
on
for
the
them.
Tampa
Absolutely awful
side.
for them.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Watch this happen," and then it's like, "All right, well, that worked out."
I'm not gonna lie. If Nashville can't get it together, that might be what the hockey world needs.
Get him back, dude. Get him back.
Every-
I don't even know what he'd
everybody-
play though. I don't even know where he'd play.
Yeah.
He'd be third line, dude.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but my boy Stammer would be third line on the Lightning. First power
Yeah.
play though. You know that.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Nick. You know what? This one's got a little bit of nuance, so I'm not going to start with you, Nick. I'm going to start with old Benny because Benny knows everything that's going on. You are the GM of the Vancouver Canucks, Patrick Allvin. How hot is it for you thinking that your two star players, well, two of your star players, your 2-star forwards, can't do it, man. They can't get along. They hate each other. They hate each other's guts.
That seems to be the case from everything that gets getting reported by the guys that would be the ones who know it, despite whatever JT Miller and Elias Pettersson say in interviews or whatever, because they're obviously going to downplay it because they're not going to like go out to the media and be like, yeah, we're fucking. Yeah, I fucking hate his guts, and it's a daily torture. No,
I'm
like,
punching
they're not
that
guy. But from all accounts, it seems to be the case, which puts me in a rather tricky spot because you never really want to be trading. Well, really, either of those forwards, because if you can get them to work together, they'd be better to have those two guys. They're really good at hockey when they're on their game, but I mean, you wonder why, like, how much of Elias Pettersson's struggles have been happening this year because he's not on his game because of whatever locker room frustrations there are. Who knows? But it does seem to have turned into a bit of a mess. It's getting spicy. That's for sure. What's like halfway up the chart? Is that in our Discord chat?
It's still there. You're looking at like an orange habanero. Ooh, this one's fun. A red Savina habanero. Ooh.
That's
Or a
nice.
or a datil. Or datil.
Let's go with the.
I don't know how the hell you say
What'd you
it.
say? The red Savina habanero. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Because it's getting toasty. We've been having our own struggles the last little bit. And who knows? Depending on the return, this could really maybe fix some things, get some of the bad blood out of the room. But it's definitely a hard spot to be in, and they're hard. I mean, this is just me, not Patrick Allvin anymore. I don't know how you win an Elias Pettersson trade, because his value is so depressed at the moment.
Yeah.
Not
with
at this
how
point.
many struggles he's been having,
Yeah.
but also I think there's so much there because of what we've already seen him be, and he's still not particularly old. Like
What? 20 what was he
How old is
Matthews?
he?
Was he Matthews draft?
I don't remember off the top of my head. He's 26. He's
yeah.
26.
Yeah,
He's
he's
got a
Matthews draft.
lot of time left. And what I've already seen out of him, I'm like, holy shit, he's probably still pretty good at hockey. Like
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet he's still pretty all right at hockey. Which makes me wonder if the thing that makes more sense is doing
Trade the
the
other
JT
guy.
Miller trade.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're much more aware of what JT Miller is at this point. And I think in the right circumstance, Elias Pettersson could be more valuable.
Yes. I think that's
but-
true.
It's not a good spot to be in.
No, it's absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Uh, yeah, I don't know what you do there. I will say, I think the last, I don't remember how, I'm fairly certain that JT Miller got to Vancouver from the Lightning. I might be wrong, but I'm
did.
fairly certain that
pretty
was the
sure.
trade.
Yep,
And
he did.
so, and then the Lightning went on to win 2 Stanley Cups. So, and before that, it was the Rangers trading him, who then went on to be pretty good until now. But you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, those are my thoughts. I would tend to agree. Pretty much in the middle. I feel like the real pressure here comes from if you deal one of them. Like if you make the JT Miller deal, and obviously you don't get a whole lot or whatever, and then Pettersson still isn't what he needs to be,
Right.
then you're like, well, shit.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, shit. I hate to be this guy, but dude, you're making $11.5 million. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I
it's not
understand
great.
it sucks working with someone that's a bitch, or you guys don't get along, whatever. That sucks. $11.5 million, buddy. Figure it out. You
Yeah.
gotta be better.
Yeah.
Plus, they've done it already. That's my thing. Those two on the penalty kill. Holy. That literal those two on the front half of the penalty kill, and they were like ridiculously good. I don't
Yeah.
know what the hell's happened. But
I'm just gonna say this about the situation. I think it's very interesting. So Quinn Hughes is like such a young captain, and I'm just picturing I'm picturing JT Miller and Elias Pettersson going at it, and then just Quinn Hughes trying to step in and like stop them. I know that's like very like reductive, but just super quiet. Quinn
Yeah.
Hughes just like, guys,
Hey
maybe
guys.
we should stop
Stop it.
doing this.
everyone calm
And then
down.
off the rails with anger. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think it goes deeper because I think the Canucks again too are obviously a very talented team, and if this keeps going on, that probably isn't going to be good for the entirety of the locker room. I don't really know what the deal was. This is apples and oranges, but the Winnipeg had an issue with their locker room for a long time, right?
Oh yeah.
With whatever reasons, and then they finally got rid of all that junk, and then
Like
look
Wheeler's gone. Yeah.
yeah. So like, I don't know, maybe if you're Patrick Alvine, just get them 2 tickets to a U2 concert, have them go together, and say, "See, Barry, look at this. This is what happens when you let them go." And then they make up, and then the Canucks win the Stanley Cup, 16-0.
Yep. U2 or what? Jonas Brothers. What do you think about?
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Nick? Send him to a Jonas Brothers concert.
That might make them
Might do it.
kill
Might
each
do
other.
it, yeah.
I think yes.
All right. Okay, last thing, and I'm gonna have old Benny do this one again. This is a this guy or that guy, nice and quick. Mac Celebrini is at 28 points, and just below him at 27 points is Lane Hudson. Who will finish with more points this season, Celebrini or Hudson?
I mean, I want to homer the shit out of it, but I mean, Celebrini, just by the degree of which he's been coming on lately and the fact that he's a forward, I think he's gonna just have the chance to do more. Although so much of what the Habs are doing right now is running through Lane Hudson. That's a tough one.
That's what I tried for. Tough questions. Tough questions.
That's a tough one.
Only tough questions
I mean,
here.
It's a tough one, so I'm gonna just fucking say hey, the hell with it and just say Lane Hudson because I have been loving what I've seen out of him so far this year. And if the Habs continue on the trajectory that they are right now, I don't know how realistic that is or how long it's gonna last. But if they do that, it'll easily be him. But I do think it could be either or. So I'm gonna cop out on this one and not be very definitive on my answer.
All right. I am gonna say, oh man, I'm gonna say Lane Hudson because I think the Habs will finish higher in the standings and will do more. That's what I'm gonna say. And also, I'm gonna say that he kind of looks a little bit like Dale Weiss. Is that just me? His
Who?
picture?
Blaine Hudson?
Yeah. His picture looks like Dale Weiss to me. I gotta look up Dale Weiss now. Make sure I'm not thinking of the wrong guy. Dale Weiss. Dude. Yeah,
Are
dude.
you s-
Yo, Dale Weiss reincarnated.
Dale Weiss is
Dale
Lane
Weiss
Hudson.
Dale Weiss is
with
not.
decidedly less facial hair.
Well, obviously
And,
less
he looks
facial
like a
hair,
young
yes.
boy.
Yeah. But they're like it looks similar to me.
I could see maybe some
reincarnation.
resemblance there. Some resemblance.
Did Dale Weiss
Yeah.
ever have 27 points in a year?
I think he did. He had like one hot year. Well, it wasn't really. It was sort of forced because Michel Therrien kept being like, "No, he's a first line winger," and I'm like, "I love the guy." No, he's not. He really isn't. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Duster Squad podcast. I know the title said Four Nations teams revealed, but we had a lot of catching up to do, and so we were not able to get to that. But that will be the first thing on the agenda whenever our next episode is, whether that's
Honestly,
next week or the
that'll
week
work
after.
pretty well because it's a little bit.
It'll
We're
be
pretty
right
close
before.
coming up on the
Yeah.
competition here. Yeah.
It'll be right before we can talk about who's going to be in, who's injured, because there's a lot of injuries going on with people. You don't know if they're going to play or be able to play.
I wonder what the like replacement protocol on that is going to be like. I also don't understand why they were like, yeah, you got to name your like. Why don't you let more of the season play out and see where guys are at? I don't.
You got
the planning
me.
was odd.
You've got
but
me on that one. I certainly do not know.
or like throw in like a protocol where you're like, by the end of January you can do like 3 or 4 swaps or something like that.
Yeah,
But
they could have done that. But obviously they didn't. But we can get into that
Yeah.
next episode. So
hell yeah.
leave a comment down below what you would have done differently with the Four Nations thing. And how hot is your seat currently? We don't ever ask questions about you guys. How hot is your seat? Give us a pepper rating. What pepper is under your cheeks? Let us know.
Hopefully it's not the ass blaster.
It better not be the ass blaster, because you better get out of there. All right. We'll see you guys next week or the week after. Who knows? See ya.